how many have you forgiven today? Chapter 5, Part 2. Anon and Celestia are walking down the streets of Canterlot together. There is not much that needs to be said about this moment. Well, except Celestia is pressly firmed against Anon as they walk side by side. Anon feels rather uncomfortable, but he deals with it, seeing as it has been a while since he's seen Celestia, and she's probably feeling affectionate, which seems to be a thing that ponies are about in this place, always nuzzling and touching with close friends.
It's so nice that we're together again,
Celestia says, breathlessly, as she leans her head against Anon's shoulder. You make it seem like we've been apart for years, he jokes.
Well, I wouldn't disagree with that notion.
Well, just a few more days and I'll be free to do whatever. Celestia lightly nuzzles into Anon's shoulder some.
I can't wait.
Anon feels his comfort level steadying out. He will admit that ponies touching him still makes him feel weird, but he's willing to bear with it for Celestia's sake. Anon briefly looks around and can see how all the ponies are looking at him and Celestia with different levels of shock. He can only assume that's because they aren't used to seeing their princess enjoying herself. Where are we headed? Anon asks, and Celestia smiles.
I would like to head to the park, if you don't mind.
Anon shrugs. I'm alright with it. Celestia lets out another sigh of content. For some reason, her heart is starting to beat a bit faster than usual. There's no reason for her mind to dwell. She's just happy to be with Anon right now. The two of them finally make it to the park. There aren't many ponies here, other than a few foals that are playing off in a field. Both Anon and Celestia walk over to a bench. Anon takes a seat at one end, and Celestia takes her seat at the other. The bench is made for regular ponies, so even while sitting, Celestia has to take up some room on Anon's side. So she does the only thing that makes sense. She rests her head on top of his lap, so they both can be comfortable. Anon now feels that weird feeling inside of him, as Celestia rests her head on top of his lap. The feeling of being touched and close to her makes his skin crawl. For so many years he's avoided other creatures, but now Celestia is one of only a few ponies that are allowed to get this close to him. He accepts his fate, as he notices the smile that's on her face as she lays there, eyes closed and perfectly fine with being in public with him. Anon can remember a time when Celestia would always wear her princess mask whenever she went out into the public eye. He has to admit that it kind of makes him feel happy that she's starting to let loose a bit. She deserves to enjoy the little things in life. His mind wanders towards Luna, a smile starting to grow on his face. It's odd for him to know that those two are his friends, true friends. Luna has done so much to keep him entertained, and sharing those memories has made him respect her all the more. He does still wonder about all the things that she kept from him, like Nightmare Moon and the many battles that she was in. He still gets a feeling deep down inside of him that she's holding back because she's afraid of what he'll think of her. Anon chuckles a bit to himself. Perhaps the reason that he has that feeling inside of him is because Luna shared her memories with him in the first place. Are these feelings his own, or are they the ones that Luna feels? Perhaps he'll talk to Luna about it in their dreams tonight.
What's so funny?
Celestia asks. Anon looks down to see Celestia still in her same position. The only difference is that one of her eyes is open as she looks at him. Random thoughts.
Oh, anything I should worry about?
She jokes, and he shakes his head. Nope, just some stuff I need to talk to Luna about. Celestia closes her eyes again.
Huh, so nothing I should know about?
Nothing too big, just some dream stuff.
Very well.
The both of them fall into silence again. Anon decides to try and enjoy this moment, so he rests his hand on Celestia's neck and starts to gently stroke her. His mind still wanders as he does this. He thinks about all of the ponies that care for him, Pinky, Bonbon, and even Lyra. He still feels slightly angry at how blind he was back then. He also can't blame himself either, things were complicated. Still, he wonders how different things would have been if he actually did accept Pinky as a friend. His mind suddenly kicks in overdrive. Would he have met Celestia? Would they have become friends? Would he have ever let any of the other ponies close to him? He hates questions like this because he could never answer them. They are pointless, but they can haunt him just like anything else. Because the questions that are asked now were actions that were made then. So he wonders what actions he will be questioning in the future. Will he regret the things that he'll do? Will he regret the things that he has done? All pointless, but it still bothers him nonetheless. He was an in-the-moment kind of person. He lets out a sigh, and he looks down at Celestia. Her breaths have become shallow. It seems that she's asleep. Well, perhaps he has slowly become an in-the-moment type of person with the help of his friends. Despite it making him feel uncomfortable, Anon leans back some, closes his eyes, and tries his hardest to live in the moment. It's worth a try at the very least. Luna looks herself over in a body-length mirror that she has in her room. She has to admit that she cleans up well. A small chuckle leaves her. It seems Anon's personality has bled into her thoughts. Not that she minds. If anything, it helps her feel less alone. Her thoughts calm a bit as she notices a presence in her room.
Report.
Luna speaks with authority. Blossom walks out of the shadows and gives a small bow.
I've come to inform you that I have met with Anonymous.
Luna raises a brow at her captain as she looks at her from the mirror.
Is that so? Entertain me, Captain. What do you think of him? He is very sharp indeed. He knew I was there only moments after my arrival. How did you approach the situation? I told him the truth. I knew just by looking at him that lying would have only hurt me in the long run.
Luna nods.
Understandable. So, he knows of what your job is.
Blossom nods.
He seems fine with it. Where is he now? Your sister has taken him out for a walk. I feel that he would be taken care of better in her hooves than my own. Since I have the time, I felt it necessary to inform you of the situation.
Luna looks herself over again in the mirror. Perhaps an outside opinion would help.
How do I look, Captain? As beautiful as the night sky.
Blossom replies.
Do you think the mane is too much?
Luna looks up at her slightly styled mane. It's a bit different than her default ethereal look. She decided that for tonight she would use her true mane for this dinner. It's something that she and her sister rarely do these days, but she must admit that she missed the look of her natural color.
It has been many moons since I've been fortunate enough to see your natural mane.
Blossom gives another bow.
You need not act so formally, Blossom. We are both alone in my chambers.
Blossom rises from her bow and looks over at her princess.
Very well. May I ask what the occasion is?
Luna feels a little heat on her cheeks. It's that odd feeling again.
Anon is going to join my sister and I for dinner tonight. It has been some time since we've shared a meal together. It lifts my spirits hearing the joy in your voice. Anon must mean a great deal to you.
Blossom states. Luna feels her thoughts going to Anon. Her mind briefly flashed anger as his memories of his torture springs to mind. Then it calms as his memories of her and her sister come flooding in. He's never said it, but his memories, his feelings, everything is telling her exactly what he doesn't want to say aloud. How much he trusts and even respects them. How much he cares for them. A gentle smile rests on her face.
He does.
Luna speaks in a whisper. Then she looks up at herself in the mirror.
Should I wear a dress? Perhaps that would be a bit too much.
Blossom comes in, and Luna nods.
Agreed. You are dismissed, Captain. Be ready for Anon's return.
Blossom bows.
Pleasant night to you.
Luna is left alone as Blossom leaves. Yep, she's definitely ready for tonight. Seems like Luna is preparing for this way more formally than Celestia is. Might be because she has a crush on him, or it could be something else. But I'm pretty sure we all know what it is. Anywho, let's get on to our grand donators. Top donators are 630, Peter Coulthard, J Tinman, Darkside, Only One Thing, and Dash of Evergreen. Rayden, Narwhals, Black Moonheart, Pastel Skies, Austin Rollins, Crazy Glare 557, Stu Hex, Orbiter and Morchard, Omicron Lyre, Will, Chris, Twinkie, Hadzaza, Rightful, Maverick, Iron Sky, Badass Waffle, and many more awesome people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.